Hey friends! Welcome back to another video with me. What's up? I'm Monica. Thank you guys for joining me today. I sit down and go step by step on my makeup application, which is why this video is titled My Pro Makeup Application. These are steps that I have learned along the way, a lot of trial and error if you are somebody who is just getting into makeup or just want to pick up some new tips and tricks or want to try out some products that maybe you've had your eye on and that you know I use, then this video is for you. But before we get started, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give my video a thumbs up. And without further ado, if you'd like to see how I achieved this look, let's get started. Okay, guys, so first things first, skincare is so important whenever you're applying makeup and just overall, honestly, because if you don't have a clean base, your makeup is just not gonna look as smooth and clean and perfect the way that we use a moisturizer for everyday wear. I use an e.l.f. Moisturizer, but if I'm gonna go somewhere fancy, you know, a little bit more high class, whatever, I mean not high class, but you know what I mean, then I like to use the Chanel Hydra Beauty Serum. For today I'm just going to use the e.l.f. Cosmetics moisturizer. I do grab like quite a large amount, I think, because I have super dry skin, so I definitely cannot skip this step. And don't forget about your neck. Your neck needs some love too. So I use the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hydrating Hyaluronic Acid Primer. You know, English wasn't my first language, excuse me. And I just grab one pump and put it all over my face. I like primers that make my face feel super refreshed. Not using the Ka-Brow by Benefit. I prefer the pencil, but I ran out, so this is what I've got right now. Just grab a little bit of product and I start distributing it all through my brow. My brow does need some help when it comes to shaping, and this product is very buildable. Now that I have drawn on my eyebrows, I am going to clean them up with some concealer, and I have here the Dose of Colors concealer in shade 5 Fair. So you just want to apply some to the brush, and then you just start lining it up in accordance to the shape that you would like to give the brow, which is pretty easy to follow since we've already got the eyebrow product on there. You just kind of line it up and bring down the extra concealer that was patted on there, because eventually it'll be used for the eyeshadow application right after this. You also want to use a very good brow setter. I am going to use a Benefit's 24-hour brow setter, which is going to give my brows a more 3D look for when I take pictures. It really picks it up when you use a really good brow gel, and this is just a clear one. This is the Morphe X Jeffree Star palette, and it's super gorgeous. I haven't used it yet. So again, with concealer, I'm going to just tap some of this Dose of Colors concealer in shade Light onto my lids. I'm using the Dose of Colors beauty sponge. Isn't it so large? I saw a beauty influencer use it, and just like the shape of it was like really intriguing for me, so I wanted to get my hands on it. Okay, now that I've got that concealer on, we are not going to set our lids. We are not gonna set them. I promise you guys, if you guys are setting your lids before eyeshadow, I challenge you not to the next time that you do your eyeshadow. You're just gonna see how much more vibrant your eyeshadow colors are and so much easier to blend, and they just show up a lot nicer, a lot better pigmentation. So let's get started. And I am just packing on this lighter shade of pink with a small brush and kind of dabbing it on throughout the whole. Now I am going to go in with the shades Self-Made and Moggle. Start packing it on as well, the same way that I did with that light shade of pink before I start blending it out. As I am packing on this hot pink shade onto the outer creases of my eyes, I am going back with the same shade that we started off with. That way the hot pink doesn't overpower the first shade that we had added in the beginning. Alrighty, now we are going to go in with the Moggle shade, which is a purple shade on here. And that is going to kind of bring in the eyeshadow look on the sides before we get into the cut crease. And this is just going to help me deepen the color and really bring out your eyes. And same thing, I'm just adding it, packing it on before I even blend it out. I'll be back once I have my crease. So I am going in with the shade Custom Rings from the Jeffree Star palette still. And this is going to be the first shade that we add on. We're gonna add it up about halfway through the lid. Now I am going to go in with the shade Millions, which is a pressed glitter. And I am just going to pat it on right here. Now we are going to add some eyeliner, of course. I am using the e.l.f. eyeliner. I'm going to angle it out so it goes out, but I'm not going to bring it in to the waterline as much. Alright, now that we have done the look, we are going to put on some lashes. These are Lily Lashes in the lash style Mykonos. I just grabbed like my little eyebrow plucker that I use as an eyelash applicator. It's just so much easier for me, and I'm just going to plop them right on. Ooh, eyelashes do like really make a look come together. Alright you guys, the eye look is finally done, with the exception of the under eye eyeshadow, which I do at the end. We finally get into foundation. Oh my gosh, having the perfect foundation for your skin type, for your skin color is so important, with shade matching and just making sure that you buy a foundation that goes with your skin. I have combination skin, so I have really dry skin, like super dry. I will peel. If we're friends, you have seen my skin peel from how dry it gets. But I get oily in my T-zone, so I purchased the NARS foundation for the first time about 4 years ago. And let me tell you, this foundation has changed my life. It makes my skin look airbrushed. I use the Natural Radiant Longwear foundation. It is a little bit on the pricier side. I think it's at $57, but it's very well worth it. This is my holy grail foundation. I have no idea what I would do without it. Let's go ahead and start the foundation application. And again, I'm going to use this Dose of Colors beauty sponge, because for me, a beauty sponge application is a lot smoother than using a brush. This foundation is so great and full coverage for those of you that are looking for a full coverage foundation. I mean, you could see it right away as I'm applying it, how amazing it is with coverage. I'm like, why is my hand here? Like, what am I doing? As I apply the foundation, I make sure that I bring it down my neck, because I want there to be a nice transition and not a harsh line along the application of foundation. Now I'm going to use my new Dose of Colors concealer, like I mentioned earlier, in the shade Fair. I do love a very bright under eye. So this is completely up to your preference. I know that some people prefer an under eye that isn't as bright, or they kind of want to go with a shade that is more natural to the foundation. But again, personally, I love a bright under eye. I love to really brighten up the areas that concealer is applied to. Everything that I know about makeup, I learned on my own. I remember when I first got into makeup, I think I was like in middle school, from watching all of my sisters. I think I've mentioned this before in a previous video. Like, I grew up going to my sister's beauty salon all the time, and then all of my older sisters were like, well, one in particular, Maggie, was like super girly. I used to steal her clothes and I would wear it to school, and then right before I got home I would change out of it so she wouldn't beat me up. But we would go to Fiestas del Sol in Mexicali. Why did I say it like that? I meant to say in Mexicali. would go to Fiestas del Sol and they would always buy all of this like Mexican makeup that came in like wooden little jars. So then I just was like so amazed by this eyeliner. It was like the blackest, most pigmented, amazing eyeliner ever. You guys had to have tried it to know what I'm talking about. Like till this day, no brand has an eyeliner as like iconic and freaking amazing as that one. I contour not very often, but when I do, I like to use the Anastasia Cream Contour Kit, which is so good and so creamy. I actually was lucky enough to get this on sale. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you heard that right, on sale. I mean, if you're like a local Marshalls or TJ Maxx shopper, you know that you could get this there. So I'm going to use an angled brush, and again, I like to spray the brush like crazy. I go in with the lightest contour shade in there, and I just grab a pretty good amount. Don't do a lot of contouring, but your contour, you want to line it up with your ear. So if you're kind of like in the beginning stages of doing any of these makeup steps, there's a lot of easy steps and tricks that could turn you into a pro in no time. So you kind of want to line it up right here, and that is where you would mark the line for contour. Once you've kind of like done it a few times, you won't even need to do that. You'll know exactly. As well as your nose contour, this is really important because you don't want to just proportion your face. You want to line it up with the brow. So say my brow is right here, I want to bring it straight down onto that curve. Same thing for the other side, you want to bring it straight down onto that curve as well. To blend out my cream contour, I do like to use a brush just because I like to have a lot more control on this part of my makeup application, and I just feel like a brush makes it so much easier for you to blend out all of the product. When I'm doing the contour, I don't always add the product onto this area of my face, but with whatever I had applied here, I kind of bring it up and brush it up to my little forehead area, whatever this part of your face is called. Alright, moving on to setting powder. This is one of my favorites. This is another brand and product that I use if I'm feeling fancy or if I'm gonna go out like on a date or something like that. So this is the Lancome Translucent Long Time No Shine. So this is really mattifying on my skin, and to me this really brightens up my under eyes. Like I said, I like to have bright under eyes, and you could either use a beauty blender or a brush. For today's video, I'm going to use a brush because it's usually what I use on my day-to-day basis. And you basically want to apply this everywhere that you applied your concealer. And then I don't really let it sit for that long. I don't feel like my face really needs that, since like I mentioned, I have really dry skin. I put it on and right away I start patting it away. I don't brush it away because if not, my skin will literally look like crocodile skin from how dry my skin gets. So if I follow all these steps throughout my whole makeup process, then my skin will stay nice and hydrated. But if I'm rough, like brushing everything away, then my skin will dry out super quick. Right now, I do like to set my whole face. This is something new that I actually just started doing, and I love using the MAC Studio Fix NC40 Pressed Powder Foundation. With the brush, I just go into the product and I start tapping it all over my skin. And again, you guys, let's not forget the neck. The neck is so important. Now that we have finished the base, we could go in with bronzer, blush, highlight, all that fun stuff. So for today's video, I am going to use this Marc Jacobs Fantastic Omega Bronzer. This is so amazing and it smells so good. So I'm just going to swirl my brush in here, tap off any excess, and start applying it on my cheekbones in the same area that I added the contour, except that with this one I am going to carry it up a little bit into my cheekbone and into my forehead area right here. And then you could start seeing how that defines my face a little bit more. And now just recently, literally just recently, I got into blush and I have been so obsessed with it. I have really been loving this blush that the Balm Cosmetics was kind enough to gift me. And the names are so cute. If you're from the desert, then you're gonna appreciate these names. This is Balm Springs, Balm Beach, and Balm Desert. Desert Babes. So I am going to use the shade Balm Springs, which is just a very subtle pink. And I use this Morphe brush and I just apply it to the apples of my face. And if it's easier for you to smile to get the application perfectly in the area that it should go ahead and do that. And I have recently gone into my OG favorite highlighter by Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is a Sun Dipped Glow Kit. I kind of dip into these two shades right here because I love to have a golden look on my face, especially during summertime. But I'm not going anywhere this summer because we are in quarantine. So I'm just going to apply this right here and look at how quickly it shows up and picks up on there. It's so bomb. I love this highlighter. I do like to look like flush, like flustered, or like not flustered, but like blushed, if you know what I mean. So I do go in with the shade Tourmaline. I'm so sorry, I'm like totally butchering some of these names. And I add that to the bridge of my nose. Go in and tap a little bit, literally like a dot on there to make me look rosy. There you go, rosy, not flustered. Now the funnest part of all is here, lipstick. I'm going to use this precision brush. It's like super thin. I got these at Michael's. They're not meant for makeup, they're meant for painting, but I definitely recommend these. So good. And I am using this shade by Tarte Cosmetics. I don't even know the shade anymore. I left it in the sun one time and it kind of just bedazzled itself out. Alright, now that I've got the Chola liner down, I'm going to go in with Kylie Cosmetics Candy K lipstick, liquid lipstick, and I'm just going to apply that all over. I'm going to add gloss to this look, and I am using Morphe Freebird gloss. This is one of my favorite glosses. I have been using it since like literally the end of time. And now to finish off the look, I am going to use the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. Dude, I said finish off the look. I totally forgot about mascara. We are going to use the Better Than Sex mascara. And I use the mascara on my falsies. I know some people are like, no, don't do that, but it really helps me stick. I have really long natural lashes, so if I don't do this, it's just gonna be a mess. All right, and that is the finished look. Thank you guys for watching my video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I sure did. I really had been wanting to create a cut crease this style, so I finally did today. I hope that you guys enjoyed it and picked up maybe some tips from me. If there's any other looks that you guys would like to see from me, feel free to drop them down below and I'll be more than happy to try those out for you guys. I will be filming more and trying to be more active on here. Again, thank you guys for joining. Before you guys go, my Instagram is _moneymakeup. My Facebook page is All Things Monica. Subscribe to my YouTube for more content. Like my video, and until next time, bye.